Hello, my name is Aija. Today present a very nice project, a very practical project. It's about two pilot projects in Riga city, and this pilot project is about how to use e-scooters in very unusual places, I would say. And the aim of it is to understand, can e-scooters be economically sustainable instruments of social inclusion? So basically, there was a project which is already ending at this stage, and Riga had opportunity to purchase two e-scooters in Riga First Hospital and one e-scooter in Riga Matīs Cemetery. And the idea or the goal why we purchased these e-scooters was to understand, can we actually use these e-scooters for people who has some disabilities in mobility, who have limited mobility, let's say possibilities, move around city, move around different places, move in different environments, and can these e-scooters actually help them to move around and improve their life quality? So first, in this project, we selected Riga First Hospital. This is a historical building, and before we selected the model of e-scooters which will be bought for the project needs, we needed to understand different technical parameters, what kind of these technical parameters e-scooters should have, that they will be able to move around the territory. And it was important because Riga First Hospital is a historical building, but not only Riga First Hospital is a historical building, there are several hospitals in Riga and in Latvia and other countries that are historical buildings, and they are completely different from the new and modern ones. So we did technical investigation to understand how narrow are the corridors, how small or big are lifts, elevators. And we talked with the staff, we talked with the technical manager, we talked to the also to understand what are their needs in terms of patient movement among this large territory. And in the end, we ended up with these two nice e-scooters. You can see the model. I will not try to pronounce it. Probably you will do it better. And the results, what we gained, we actually had, we gained a time period when we were using and testing these e-scooters, and the results was we get very good technical parameters showing after these tests, no technical problems with these e-scooters, only positive reviews from the patients. The e-scooters were used in 4 departments of heart surgery division, and we also understand that it's very easy to charge. We were using only, let's say, domestic chargers, and we could charge these e-scooters in all 23 buildings. But usually we charge them in 2 particular places during the night when there were no need to use them. Before we started to use these e-scooters, we provided technical training for the staff to understand how to move with these e-scooters. And also one of the results was that we actually moved not only the patients, but also some medical things, because the e-scooter had cargo function. And so the lessons, what we learned, and this is very important if you in the future also want to do something similar in your hospital. As I said, first we did this training for the staff, and this is very crucial, and I would like to stress on, because if you plan to purchase the e-scooters, you have to understand who will be using them. And we actually gained, let's say, had some difficulties because our staff is more older generation, and they has, let's say, you have to talk with them more to encourage use these modern technologies, and that's why this training is important, and I would say crucial. Also, one thing which is very important to stress is that before you select the model, try to investigate your place very detailed. I mean by all these technical things about building all these, also all these charging possibilities, etc. And interesting lesson what we learned, that we not only improve the social inclusion of the patient moving around these buildings, but also we made the life of employees much easier, because as I said, territory is large, 23 buildings. Imagine how many kilometers the employees are walking every day. But using these e-scooters made their life much easier and nicer. And yeah, this was our first pilot project. And the second was also very interesting, I would like to say. This was done in Matīs cemetery. And this is the first cemetery in Latvia, and I believe also in maybe in other countries as well, where we are using e-scooters. You can see it looks like a small car, but it's not a small car, it's actually e-scooter. The thing is that actually we talking with the staff and understanding the needs of cemetery, this e-scooter was specially made or designed for our needs. You cannot go and buy this directly in a shop like it looked like. It was designed in a factory for our needs. Because it has both. It has function to transport visitors of the cemetery, and also it can transport different things because it has cargo function. So the result, again, more than around 60 visitors per day come to the cemetery, but we investigated that there are around 30 to 50 people that we actually are transporting around the cemetery during the week. It's important to stress out that cemetery is very, let's say, unique place. It's not allowed to go there with the transport or car. That's why for us it was important to test how this e-scooter will go around and what will people say, how they will, let's say, accept it. Maybe there will be no, it doesn't belong here, but we get only, again, positive feedback, and old ladies and gentlemen were very surprised and very keen to try this e-scooter. Yeah, and also we transport not only the visitors, but also the visitor staff. For example, those who had wheelchair, it was possible to transport them around the cemetery. And also it was important to stress out that we tested this e-scooter in all 4 seasons to understand actually can e-scooter can it be comfortable for the visitors, and can e-scooter can do all the movements around this specific place, because in the winter, autumn or spring, the routes are completely with the different surface and different technical conditions of the roads are comparing to the summer. So the lessons what we learned, yes, this is completely okay for cemetery needs. The engine is strong enough to go around the cemetery area, even if there are downs and hills. The tires are also capable to deal with different road surface in different weather conditions. People who are visiting cemeteries said they are okay to and feel positive and using the e-scooter even in the summer, because in the summer it's an open you can open the doors, let's say the window and doors, but in the winter time, not in winter time, but in autumn and spring, when it's rainy and maybe shady and not so gray and not so pleasant, you can close these doors and it's warm and nice inside. So it's actually important to stress out if you want to buy the e-scooter for the outdoor needs. Our e-vehicle has almost no sound, so that's why there was no interaction with this lot of people who are actually doing their procedures, and that's why also we had only positive reviews from the visitors. And also the lesson that we learned, it's crucial to have this cargo function. not only for transporting the visitors, but also the visitor devices. So, as I said, wheelchairs or baby chairs for babies, etc. And yes, and and Mati's cemetery was the first cemetery in Latvia where we tested these e-scooters, and we can definitely say that it's completely increased the social inclusion a lot. So this is a very good positive feedback for our project and for everybody who wants to repeat or try to do something similar in their cemeteries or outdoor objects in other places. So this is from my side all.